Hello, everybody. Let's see. Is this working? Is this working now? Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Oh my goodness, it's working. I finally got my microphone fixed. I knew I would. Oh, I got a lot of things done today, folks. In the heat, I loaded up my truck, took a bunch of stuff into storage. The move is on. But boy, did it get to me. I'm like, whoo, I'm not as young as I used to be. And let's just say I'm feeling. I'm okay. It's just, I'm feeling it. But after a good shower and cooling off, I'm good. But boy, wow, that was something. So I know what I'm in for. Anyway, welcome into 270 Weather. I'm Chris Allen, weather for the 270 area code and beyond. All right, some of you picked up some more of those pulsating thunderstorms today, the kind that just blow up in a spot on the radar, rain themselves out, and then they push out some cooler air, and that rush of cooler air to the ground then starts to rise as the sun heats everything up, and then boom, here comes another thunderstorm. One dies, one builds. One dies, one builds. And it just keeps on happening. And it's been happening all afternoon. And it's still happening, as you'll soon see on the radar. It is now 5:45 on your Sunday evening, July 6th. Let's take a look at the Plano cam. I didn't show you that yesterday, but I can show it to you right now after we just had a pretty good thunderstorm here in Plano a little bit ago. And there you see things are very quiet. There goes a neighbor down the street. It is now the sun is coming out. The winds are calm. Now, when these thunderstorms started to develop, they started putting down some pretty decent rainfall, and the winds did pick up. We had some gust of wind as those thunderstorms collapsed right over the Plano area. But now the sun is out and everything is calm. But some of you are still getting some of those thunderstorms, which I'll show you in just a moment. But yeah, when those things build and fall apart, you really don't want to be underneath one of those because, I mean, the rain is torrential. And the lightning sometimes is very dangerous. It only lasts usually for a few minutes and then they fade away or they move on. Such is the case as we have seen today with that high of 90. That's not right. That's yesterday's. I thought I had replaced this. Okay, hang on just a second. Just a second. I got it. Y'all just hang on. You know me. There we go. I got it. 94. I just forgot to update it. Today's high was 1 degree warmer than yesterday. 94 at the Bowling Green Airport, 5 degrees above normal, and normal is still 89. The low 74, no rainfall, none at the airport, but you'll soon see that there was plenty in some other areas. So that is evident right now on the radar. This is the radar in view and in motion over the last hour here at 5:48 p.m. Central Daylight Time on this Sunday evening. I can show you a couple of things. Here are the storms. See it right there? That was, I get real close. Here's where I am, right in here. And you can see about 30 minutes, 45 minutes ago, I mean, it was raining good. This is Scottsville Road. This is I-65 right there. Here is 31W going to Woodburn. And I mean, these storms, look at that. I mean, they were boom. Well, look, they're gone now. But out to the east, like yesterday, they developed new storms. And we've got one right now that's occurring on the north side. This is Barren River Lake. So you're getting a pretty hefty thunderstorm there right now. And then even up toward Glasgow, pretty good Little storm that's going on there. I don't see a lot of lightning at the moment, but there will be, I think, or could be. Here's a pretty good storm now south of Franklin. That's 31W. This is Interstate 65. Here is the Tennessee border where it makes that little dip right there at Mitchellville and Kentucky Downs in that area. And it's raining hard right there. And in southern Simpson County, it looks like about, where is that? Amos. Yeah, right in there. It looks like it's coming down pretty good. So there's several places. You get down toward Nashville, there's some lightning going on there, as you see around the Hendersonville area. Where that black dot is, that's the Doppler radar. That is Old Hickory Lake. That is where the radar is located for Nashville. And you can see there's a thunderstorm right over Old Hickory Lake. And some other storms that are now beginning to move in the western part of Kentucky. Mayfield, I'm surprised this one hasn't gone severe. Let me go to the Hopkins. Well, let's go to the Paducah radar. That's a pretty hefty storm. It's got a lot of heavy rain with it. Oh, look at the lightning strikes that are popping up. This is over just east of Mayfield, moving toward Benton, Kentucky, and Murray. Now, here's another feature that I want to show you. Have you ever heard us mention gust fronts? A gust front. You may be saying to yourself, what the heck is a gust front? Is it like a cold front or a warm front? Yes. And this explains exactly what I was talking about. When the storms collapse, they throw out cooler air. See what's happening? See that right there, that line? Look at that. And you see what's happening? These are falling apart. And look, right there on that line, there is a new storm right there that's forming just west of Hardin, Kentucky. That is along the gust front. We call it a gust front because on that line, you'll get a gust of wind before the thunderstorm. And that's exactly what's happening there in western Kentucky, a gust front. And that is because of these collapsing thunderstorms west of that gust front. And those little lines, they're almost like a cold front in a way. Those little micro lines of gusty winds, as those storms collapse, help form new thunderstorms. So that's how that works. Let's see if we see any more. I thought I saw some down around Nashville. Let me go to the Nashville radar site. Doppler radar catches these things pretty well. All right, let's go to Hopkinsville. All right, okay, it's not wanting to, oh, there we go. Oh, there's one, look. There's one right there. See it pushing northwest? It's coming into Logan County and into southern Todd County. Now, there could be, along that gust front from these collapsing storms around Ashland City and Nashville, that could form more thunderstorms. We'll just see. It's not always a guarantee, but it's a possibility. Isn't that cool? It's just a little bit of radar 101 for you. So I think we're going to begin to see more and more thunderstorms into the coming days. In fact, the forecast is calling for more in the way of thunderstorms, and not just these late afternoon, daytime heating type thunderstorms, of pulse storms. These are going to be more in the next coming days, driven by, yes, daytime heating, but also because of a cold front, an actual cold front and not a gust front, that is going to touch off the showers and thunderstorms as we go through time. So get ready for more rain. Yes, more rain. A rainy period is coming our direction. Just warning you, it's coming. We're going to go into that kind of a pattern for a while. It looks like even much of this week, this coming week. Okay, now we go to the Kentucky Mesonet, and we'll be able to see some of the numbers of rainfall, or how much rainfall, if anything, actually hit some of those Kentucky Mesonet sites around us. Upper 80s to around 90. Most locations we did make it, as you saw, in the low 90s today. 94 was the official high temperature at the airport. It's 86 now at the Corvette plant and 88 at the Ag Expo Center. How high did it get today in your town? Let's see, 90 for Edmonton, 91 for Glasgow, 90 for Munfordville, 91 for Morgantown, 92 for Hartford, 92 for Russellville and Franklin, 91 for Scottsville and Tompkinsville, 92 for Burkesville. I don't see anything higher than 92. So, there you go. Now, let's check the rainfall. And again, see, here's the thing. When these pulse type storms get going, they can produce some very heavy rain. Some of you can pick up a lot of rain in a short amount of time, but if it doesn't hit a sensor, the sensor is just really just a rain gauge where you see those little circles. If the rain doesn't hit those rain gauges, it looks like most of us didn't get rain at all, which is not exactly true. A lot of us did not pick up rain today, but I think some of us did. Like back here in Muhlenberg County, they picked up a 1/4 inch of rain. But now let's do this. Let's do a little experiment here like I did yesterday. Let me go back to the radar, and let's look at the measured rainfall, or Doppler estimated rainfall. Let me stop the motion here. Let me go to, the accumulation. Okay. Now, see, this shows a little bit more representation, according to the Doppler radar, how much rain actually fell based on Doppler radar estimates. It may not have all hit the ground, but like right over Bowling Green. Wow, look at that. Did I see? Yeah, look at that. 8/10. 8/10 of an inch of rain. That would be not quite the airport's a little bit further south. It's right under, the airport is right there under the 8/10 inch, this little label. So you see it missed the airport altogether. But we got some here at my house, and that would be, maybe 1/10 of an inch or what? No, that's like, okay, that's better. Like 1/10 of an inch, 12 hundredths. So just little spots picked up intense rainfall. But look at this over here. Elkton again. Whoa. Look at that, 1.58. Because I just don't trust this that much, let me go to the 3 hour. Okay. Now, this may be a little more accurate, because I think it took in the 24-hour period, but I want to show just this afternoon. So here we go. I am in Plano, which is right in here. There we go. So we picked up about a 1/2 inch of rain from that one storm. And then as you go up toward, say, just south of Oakland, Smiths Grove, looks like about a 1/2 inch of rain there. The rest of it was pretty light. So that's actually what happened this afternoon. So that gives you probably a little better, whoops, I hit the wrong button. That probably gives you a little bit better measurement. Wait a minute. Why is it not showing? That's not what I wanted to show. I wanted to get. Sorry. I still have it. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. There were still some pretty good returns on the radar. Okay, let's go to this because I can't. Something just misnavigated there. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go with the prediction of what we're going to see in the next few days. We're going to see some pretty decent rainfall. I do believe that is going to be the case. And as you can see here, we start out this evening with the scattered showers, thunderstorms. Here is the remnant Chantal tropical depression now that is over North Carolina. Notice, even though it gets close, the shield of rain from Chantal doesn't go over the Smoky Mountains. It's going to stay away from us. All of this is daytime heating today, and then the darker greens up towards St. Louis and central Missouri are because of this frontal boundary that wants to stall. So, in the forecast, here we go tonight into Monday. We'll start off dry, I think, but by afternoon, more showers and thunderstorms, some of those daytime heating, but then some of those also stoked by this low pressure system and this disturbance, this little short wave that's going to come in, kick in a little bit more scattered thunderstorm activity, and the rain chances have gone up. Tomorrow, about 60%, then 60% again Tuesday, 70% on Wednesday and Thursday. So let's show you that. Here's Monday afternoon, better rain and thunderstorm coverage. Here's 7 p.m. Monday night, scattered shower. Here we go into Tuesday morning, rain and thunderstorms, stalled boundary, high pressure, kind of holding everything back a little. Here we go into Tuesday night, widespread coverage of rain and thunderstorms with the cold front still back to the west. Wednesday, the front continues to flex north and south, and the high pressure just doesn't want to let go. But better coverage of rain and thunderstorms Thursday as well. Notice the front doesn't move. Friday still doesn't move, and we still have rain. Here we go into Saturday. It's still back to the west. High pressure still sitting over us, but it's what we call a dirty high. It's dirty enough, contaminated enough that it still allows the rain to happen. So really, it doesn't even need to be there. It's not fending off the rain. It's not very strong. And there we go into Sunday. So the front is still back to the west of us even on Sunday. Things are not going to change that much. It is still going to be wet. The pattern is still going to be wet for several days. It's not going to let up. Every single day this coming week will be rainy at times, stormy even at times. And somebody's already asked, I hope no flooding like Texas. Well, I hope not either. I don't think so, but they didn't think so the other day either. And you see what happened. More on that in just a moment. Here is the predicted, QPF, quantitative precipitation forecast for the next 5 to 7 days. You can see a little bit of purple showing up right over southern Kentucky, which is, right there. So on the scale, on the chart, you see on the left-hand side, you're talking inch and a half to 2 inches of rain during the next several days collectively. But as I've told you before, storms can happen and you could pick up that amount of rain in one storm. Just one storm can produce inch and a half to 2 inches or even more rain. So don't be surprised if that happens because it is very, very possible. All right, let's check the model viewer, the blender, I call it. This is a blend of models for the next 10 days, and we're going to keep it upper 80s to low 90s throughout. Nothing too hot, nothing too cool. Right, pretty much right where we should be for temperatures here in the beginning and middle of July. All right. So nothing that looks off charts or wonky or anything like that. Everything is pretty much as it should be for this time of the year. Okay. Now, before I say any more about the Texas flood, let me talk to you about our good friends at RNR, the RNR Control people, the Conleys. These are people that are just good earth people. And what I mean when I say that, I'm not talking about, tree huggers or anything. I know if Barry and his wife are watching right now, they're laughing their socks off. No, I'm not talking. When I say good earth people, these are the kind of people that they're down to earth. They care about the earth. They care about you. They care about heating, cooling. They care about you having power when the power goes out. Therefore, they're your authorized Generac sales and service and installation dealer. It is imperative if you never want to be without heating, cooling, automation for your business, backup power for your business or your home. More and more people are getting these Generac generators for their home. You may think they're out of reach, that there's no way that you could afford getting a Generac generator for your home and having it all wired up and ready to go. And then when the power gets cut, when the grid goes down, your power stays on. Yes, with a Generac generator, you can do that. And RNR Controls has a full line of different kilowatts of power from small to industry size. And same goes for HVAC. They're working on, right now, I think I told you the other day, they're working on a home in Franklin, Tennessee, not Kentucky, but Franklin, Tennessee, down there where some of the, Hollywood actors have migrated into Nashville and surrounding suburbs of Nashville, Franklin, Tennessee being one of them. A lot of music artists, of course, live there in these huge homes. I mean, these gigantic homes that none of us that are watching will ever live in, let alone alone afford. But they're installing these Generac generators, and they're installing several units, HVAC units, not one, not two, but like 10 or more in these huge homes, and they're all electronically monitored. Barry Connolly at R&R Control showed me the other day how he can go into an industry, a big manufacturing plant, something like that, or a home, given permission, of course, when they set these things up. He can log in, and if there is a problem with the HVAC system or cooling tower or any of that stuff, if there's a problem, an alarm goes off and it says, hey, this unit has a problem. Most of the time when you're an RNR Controls customer and you have one of these setups, you don't need to call them. They'll already be on their way. They'll already be ready to take care of you and to know they already know what the problem is. Now that is service. And that's why you need R&R Controls. From small to big, and it doesn't matter how big or how small, you need them to take care of you. From Generac generators to HVAC services and so much more. And they're getting into some other things too, which we'll announce soon. But R&R Controls, right there in Brownsville, can take care of you. Never be without. 270 777 2024. 270 777 2024. R&R Controls, never be without. All right, and I appreciate them sponsoring 270 Weather and the soon expansion of 270 Weather, which is coming soon as soon as we move. You know, this has all been a learning process, but I got to tell you, in the midst of all of this, first of all, as I posted this morning, if you saw my Facebook post, number one, first and foremost, God is in control. God is in control. And there are a lot of people today questioning, how can God be in control when there's the flooding that happened in Texas and the loss of life and the kids that fell to that tragedy? There were some that were rescued today that were up in a tree. That's like just phenomenal. Sometimes we don't understand. We think, well, okay, why is God punishing us? And I've thought that. I've thought that within the last week. There were some things that happened that I'm like, okay, like I told you yesterday, when we found out we've got to move because the company that owns our duplex that we live in and have lived in for a while, it's like a house, it's a home. I've got a room here that I have all this stuff set up, and I've got electronics and radios and speakers and turntables and all that. Some of you have seen that I posted this morning. That was only a little bit of it. I've now had to go put a lot of that into storage because we've got to get out of this complex, because they're going to tear the units down and start all over with apartments. And that's out of our control. I don't understand it. I know it's business and it's for this. And that's just the way some things are done. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But I could have sat there and wallowed in my pity and said, okay, God, why are you punishing me? I thought you were going to take care of me. And I did think that. And some of you may be thinking, what? How dare you? How dare you think that? Look, if you ever think that God is offended by anything you think again. God doesn't get offended by this stuff. He doesn't get offended when people curse him out and defy his name. He doesn't get moved by any of that. He's God. He doesn't get worried about whoever says something bad about God. He doesn't care. It doesn't bother him. It disappoints him. Yeah. God says in his word there are times when we disappoint him, but guess what? His grace, his mercy, his love, and forgiveness, those four things rule out everything else. And when some people have tried to politicize, you get people like Rosie O'Donnell, and some of these people today have been all over the internet and all over social media. Oh my gosh, it's because the president cut back on National Weather Service personnel, and that's why the flood killed so many people. Really? Really? Why don't you just shut up? Anybody that thinks that is just, woohoo. I mean, to think that it's all based on what you think, all of it. Anybody can sit back and armchair quarterback why certain things happen. Why did 9/11 happen? Why did this happen or that happen? Uh, you may think, well, it's God's condemnation and blah, blah, blah. I think you need to read your word. I think you need to read the Bible a little bit better than the way you're interpreting it. But see, people like her and some of the others who are trying to politicize this tragedy, which is a shameful thing to do in the first place, don't even believe that God exists in that way. There's some kind of entity, but God, let's not talk about it. You know how they are? They don't like talking about it. They don't like talking about God. Why? Because they know deep down He is real, He exists, He created them, but by their own choosing, they choose to not believe, to not trust, and to not understand how loving God is. So you may think, why did He allow this to happen? Things allowed are things happen in this life because of sin in the world. Is it because those people sinned and now they're paying the price? No, no, God forbid. Things happen. This is a natural earth. Things happen naturally. Some things are out of our control. And the reason sometimes those things are out of control is because God wants us to kneel down and pray that He will take care of everything and that something good would come from it. Even the worst of tragedies. We may say, how can anything good come from that? Wait and see. Wait and see. It always does. In every tragedy, there is something good that comes from it. People, sometimes things happen to get your attention. And you say, well, the loss of life. Well, he's God. He created all of us. He can say when it's time for us to go, right? You may not believe that, but it's true. He knows when all of us, when it's our time. You got to be okay with that. You can't go around thinking, well, this thing is happening and that's happening and why the tragedy and the disasters and why all these things. Because this is not a perfect world and it was never meant to be a perfect world. That's why there's God. God comes in and He says, I've got you. I'm going to take care of it. And he puts together the good like pieces of a puzzle. We may not understand it like He says in His word. For now we see through a glass darkly. But one day we'll see clearly and we'll understand why we went through the things we went through. Just like this whole thing with me having to move, find some other place to live. I'm very confident that we'll find something else. God's already got it. He's already got it mapped out. We know He knows where we're going. We don't yet, but He knows where we're going. We'll be fine. Look, every time we've moved someplace, it's been someplace better. And it's been safe. And it's been wonderful. And He's going to do it again. That's my testimony. That should be yours too. Is that in every tragedy that happens, something good comes from it. Every single time. Now, we need to really think about and pray for all of those people in Texas. I don't want us to start thinking, could the same thing happen here? Yes, it could. Uh, could December 11th of 2021 happen? It did. Could any other weather tragedy or natural disaster happen again? Yes. Yes. That's why we say be prepared. We don't know when or where certain things are going to happen, but we just have to be prepared. So, and then you just have to trust God that He knows, He sees, He understands. But it's that when we're submissive to Him to say, God, this is in your hands. You've got it. Not me. I can't do it. I don't have the means to do it, but you do. That's when you have to say, God, you got it. Because I don't know. I don't know, and there's no way I can fix it. Now look, I didn't want to get in here and start preaching. I'm not a preacher. But I just feel like sometimes some of these things need to be addressed, and this is the only place I get to address them. Is there's just so much. Just scroll through your social media, and you will see just the god awfulest junk today over that one tragedy. There, it's politicized already. Like, well, if Trump wasn't president, this wouldn't happen. Really? I just can you imagine if some of those families of those little girls that were at that camp read something like that? How that makes them feel? No. Some of the people that are saying these things don't care about that. They just want to get out there and protest and carry on and just act like idiots. Just it's awful. Just be smart about these things and then just trust God. I don't care what it's for. It could be the smallest thing. God, when I go to work tomorrow, can you just, I just trust you to make my day better. You may think, he doesn't care about that. Yes, he does. How much are you willing to trust him? That's the key. All right, you guys. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Um, Thanks for listening to all this. It just comes out. Sometimes it just comes out and I can't stop it. So thank you. I'll see you tomorrow morning, live at 6 a.m. on News 40 Sunrise. Until then, have a great evening. And yes, I mean,